I think the death of Charlie Kirk and him being assassinated really impacted a lot of people, even people who didn't know him before he was assassinated. Like, just his story and the things he stood for really impacted a lot of people.
Yeah. I think, honestly, and I know everybody says it, that this is the turning point. This is the revival, and that's what our young people in this country need. I don't think that we're angry enough about what happened, and I think that that's going to fuel, what we're wanting for Turning Point, which is faith, family, freedom, our country, and that's exactly what the young people of today need.
Charlie Kirk and Turning Point has always been kind of a big inspiration to me and how I want to live my life as far as being bold for my faith as a Christian, as well as being involved as a young person in politics.
Charlie Kirk was a great Christian man, and so when he was murdered the way he was, it was kind of like, attack on me, because I held, many of the same beliefs that he did, the same Christian beliefs, and so it's important for me. I wanted to be here because I wanted to support this movement now, because he stood for so many things that I stood for.
I can speak for a lot of younger people. Charlie Kirk was a really big influence in my life, especially, following Christianity, being a young Republican. He really not only gave us a voice and, really showed us how to stand up for our beliefs and for our values, but I think he gave us a lot of hope in a day and age where, a lot of things are changing rapidly.
I'm here with a bunch of my friends. We traveled a couple hours to see Charlie Kirk, and not really to see Charlie Kirk, but just to be here. And recently I've just been seeing our country has been taking a very dangerous turn towards political violence, and our country needs Jesus more than ever. You can just see all the violence that's happening with the Catholic school shootings, every school shooting, with Charlie Kirk being a martyr now. Our country is turning, and we need to turn now to Jesus more than ever, but we're also seeing a huge revival happening among Gen Z and among the young adults, and I am more than excited to see people just running to Jesus at full speed. And I think that's really what this fight is for. Charlie fought for Jesus, he fought for the conservative movement, and I think he was a huge example of that, and I want to be the next Charlie Kirk.
It's really important for us to be out here today. To not only respect someone that was lost, whether you're left, right, in the middle. I think it's just really important to respect someone that was lost, especially such a political figure like Charlie Kirk, and then get to learn more about what it is to be a man in the United States, what it is to be a woman in the United States, and hopefully put the younger generation in the right direction for the future.
You're starting to see this younger generation, our generation moving in here, is the world we live in, and we're getting more of a sign of hope or just eye-opening of what the world's turning into, and also how we as a generation can turn it around and make it better for our future generations after us.
One of my favorite quotes of all time is by Ronald Reagan, saying that freedom is never more than a generation away from extinction. It must be, or we didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for and protected and handed on for them to do the same. And I think that kind of sums up the whole mission of why the younger generation needs to be involved so desperately.
More Christian young people should be bolder in their faith and speak out on these political issues, and just be more evangelistic, I think.
I really wanted to show that Turning Point means something to us. It means something to the younger generations, and that it has really affected us. And we're here to support Charlie and Turning Point and what they're trying to do for this country. I think it's great. And especially as young Christians, I think it's great that he was reaching out to even minority groups and telling them that your voice matters. It's not just because the left is telling you, you're oppressed. Everybody's voice matters, and he was really proving that, and I think it really shows a lot that, everybody's already here, and how many students we already have here today.
We need to open our minds, and we need to open our hearts. We need to understand that we're all God's children, and we need to work together for the greater good, and there's a lot of joy to be had in that whole process. Life is such a gift, and we have a chance to take it back. And we can't let the naysayers and the negative people control the narrative. Look at this beautiful place we are located in. Look at this great opportunity we have here in America. And look at the great sacrifices of people who really love our country. really wanted to make a difference. And now it's up to us to carry the torch.
I think once we stop talking, that's when it gets dangerous. So being able to have conversations with people that we don't necessarily agree with, but respectfully, and going into that conversation with an open mind is so huge in this day and age.
We can clearly see that people of both sides can have good conversations, and like we've had a lot of really good conversations just debating like our thoughts, and I think it's important for debate to be able to happen in the right way.
A lot of unity, coming together, and especially events like this where we can come together and just discuss topics that are important. Even though we don't agree on it, we can still have those tough conversations, and we can look at the other side, and we can at least respect people's opinions and their voice. But I think we need more unity and coming together and being able to look at someone else's perspective.
Yeah, and I think to elaborate on what Amber said, it's all about communication.
It's really important in our society to disagree with each other. I mean, it's something natural that's going to happen, whether it's something small or as big as politics and religion and stuff like that. But it's really important to disagree and have civil conversations with each other. Obviously, the violence nowadays is, it's a really scary direction that we're going in, but I hope that with these events continuing and the more people showing up, that the violence can really drop down. We can all, come together and just talk.
One of the main reasons violence is starting to get out, I believe, is just because the truth is starting to be told and certain agendas aren't adding up anymore. It's like people are actually like opening their eyes and realizing certain things just aren't adding up and not making sense. And I guess just to fix it, just keep sending like message like this, like what we're doing right now, just keep showing up to these events and just really getting out the word.
I think it's cool just to come out and see that we're not alone and see the community in Bozeman, especially with this last month and everything that's going on. It's really cool to come out and all be together and celebrate Charlie.
We're all members of one country. We really should be talking to each other rather than yelling at each other, being so defined in our arguments that we can't listen to what everybody else is trying to say. This country was founded on talking and working things out in conversations rather than fighting over it. So I think it's great. I think that's really what we need to do in this country.